Hi, this is Eric from the Taipei office headquarters, and I'm going to be taking you through some basic instructions on how to use our new CM Connect app for the MasterWatt. I'm starting here with the home page for the MasterWatt app on the desktop version. This home page is available once you connect your MasterWatt PSU into your PC via US cable. Once you do this, you will be able to access the menu options for your power supply unit. On the home page, you'll see that you have a few options before you go into the actual functions of the app. Some of these options are down here: Support, CM Store, and System. First, let's go into the support page. On the support page, you'll find two options. One is for online support, one for version info. If you decide that you need help troubleshooting or whatever problems you may have, you can go into our CM Fan Zone page online, where you can find all kinds of options like accessing your profile, tech support, registration, etc. If you'd like to know what version of the CM Connect app you're running, you can find that here. And if you'd like for the app to start automatically when you start your computer, you can click this option here. Your second option is to go into the CM Store, where you can have access to any of our online shops, either the US, EU, or Asia Pacific regions. The last option is System, where you can find system specs on your current PC. As well, if you'd like to have a nice, cool, pretty picture to look at when you're looking at your system specs, you can upload any picture you'd like from your hard drive here simply by right-clicking on the small boxes below. Now let's go into the actual app functions. To do this, you would press the power menu button. The home page for the app functions will bring you to the overview, where you can see all of your parameters in real time on your PSU. So if you have any questions about what these might mean, you can simply scroll over the term and it will give you the full write-out. As well, you can see temperature, fan speed, and the current cost of the electricity that is being used to power your PSU, and the voltage and ampage on your rails. In addition to the overview menu tab, you have a few other options to choose from at the top, such as monitoring, modes, and history. Monitoring allows you to see the parameters of your PSU in real time in graph form. Modes is for changing the settings on your fan speeds, as well as some other functions which I'll go into in a minute. And history allows you to analyze data depending on the time that you'd like to see, the time frame, and also download your data in an Excel spreadsheet format. So now let's first go into monitoring. As I just said, monitoring is for watching your data in real time. So you can see that I have all of the various parameters already selected here, and they've been running. When you first start off, you'll see a blank screen, and from here you can select any number of parameters. So for example, if I'd like to see my fan speed, currently on the setting I have it set on, the fan is not running, as you can see. This number here shows you whatever data is happening in real time at this moment, whereas this allows you to see the curves and changes in your data through time. The time settings can be adjusted here. Right now, the default setting is 30 seconds. And you can also adjust it to show 60 seconds or 300 seconds. Keep in mind that every time you adjust the time, your graph will reset. As well, anytime that you return to the home page and then come back to monitoring, your graph will reset. This covers the basic functions of your monitoring section. If you wanted to go into further adjustability, then you would proceed to modes. Modes simply means that you have different settings and profiles. Here you have 5, whereby you can adjust fan speeds depending on the temperature of your PSU. So when we first go in, the default is standard. And you can see by the graph here on the x-axis we have temperature and Fahrenheit. You can also adjust this to Celsius. Here on the y-axis we have fan duty, which more or less means at 100% your fan is running at top speed. At 0% your fan is off. Depending on the type of user that is using this app, they'll want to select different profiles that might suit their habits. So for example, if you're the kind of person who needs your PSU to be silent, maybe you're composing music and recording, you can click silent mode. To enact or activate the silent mode, you click on the setting here and then you press save. This will change your fan speed settings. So you can see here that the fan will remain without running until reaching a certain temperature. And you also have settings like gaming, which uses higher fan speeds, and overclocking, which sets the fan speed at 100% regardless of the temperature of your PSU. And custom. Let's talk a little bit more about custom. Custom allows you to set your own profile. You can adjust and toggle the parameters of your graph by clicking and dragging either up, let me use one that actually moves, up or down, left or right. Now the reason why this did not move is because you can have to work within certain limitations of the graph that are based on safety considerations. So for example, you cannot adjust all of your parameters to 0, or you would probably burn down your house. So the principle is that you cannot adjust any of the parameters down on the right side lower than the parameters on the left. And as well, you can't cross them over to the left from the right. Other than that, you have the freedom to toggle the settings as you would like. Next, let me explain a little bit about the 12-volt overcurrent protection settings here. The default is auto, and for most people, you actually don't even need to worry about this. The only reason you would need to change this is if you're someone who, for example, an overclocker who needs to change the default overcurrent protection settings on their PSU to get more ampage out of their rail. If you are one of those people, you would select single, which means that the default setting of splitting the ampage across 2 rails into your PSU would be combined into a single rail, so you can put more ampage into your PSU and overclock your CPU. Other than that, if you want to be absolutely sure that you have the safest settings possible, just simply select dual or auto. The last function on this page to be aware of is the settings for cost. If you'd like to see the amount of money that you've been spending while powering your PSU, you can do so here in any number of currencies. You can select them here. Let's just use US dollar. And you'll need to find your local electricity rates. We'll just put in 10 as an example. Now once you do this and you press save, you'll then be able to see in your overview, based on the price. I know this is not realistic, but just as an example, you'll see based on the local electricity rate how much money you've spent over a single session on your PSU. The session time runs from the moment that you open the app. Now for the last part of this tutorial, which we'll be discussing the history tab. So let's go into the history tab. The history tab allows you to see all of your data in historical format by the hour. So the way that you would access this data is by first selecting the day. So we will select the date and a time and AM or PM. And the data will be displayed in graph format in the window down here, depending on which parameters you choose. You can choose any number of parameters at a time. If you would like to see the numbers, you simply click and drag across the hour, and it will display the numbers for you in the boxes. Keep in mind that you can only see 1 hour at a time. This application does not allow you to access ranges of data longer than an hour. If you would like to see a range for longer than an hour, you need to access it in Excel spreadsheet form, which you can download onto your computer through this function. So let's download the data. And the Excel spreadsheet, which you cannot see right now, it's on my other screen, but it appears showing, well, let me drag it over. Let me just drag this over. It appears here showing you the data by the minute for as long as the session lasted, up to a 24-hour period. So you can see this is when we turned on the PSU, and it continues to run until midnight, and it refreshes at midnight. This data is actually downloaded automatically to your computer hard drive by the minute. So in the event that for some reason your PSU shuts down, you can access this data still saved on your hard drive, and you can examine the parameters to see maybe what problem occurred with your power supply unit. So this is a unique feature of CM Connect. That's it for the training tutorial. Thank you very much.